So big shout outs to the gentlemen that were in the play. I told him all I mentioned. Joseph Porter, Mayor Raymond, and Isaac, myself. I kind of held at men's chorale
Yes.
with the women that were there. It was pretty fun.
It was a very, very entertaining.
Yes. Me and all my off notes. It was good for what it was. So.
Yes, and the acting debut for Mr. Calvin Akilworth.
Oh yeah, the acting debut for little Calvin.
He had a
yeah,
small part in there.
Small part.
That was interesting to watch, as well. So
yeah, maybe there might be some video one day. We might have to laugh about that whole situation. That's kind of crazy. So speaking of Mother's Day and all the Mother's Day stuff, Russell Wilson, a main man. I like football. I enjoy all sorts. And I don't tweet though, so I'm not really a tweeter. But I found out that today he tweeted this to Sierra.
now, was it a tweet or was it Instagram? Which one?
You know, it could have been Instagram, because you know me, I don't speak multiple cyber languages, and I'm working on that. I'm working on my cyberlingual, but I believe it was a tweet.
Okay.
And he said nothing better than spending time with you. You are an amazing mom, and I am so grateful I get to spend the rest of my life with you and raise our kids. I love you. That's what he said. And then the fans of the rapper Future gave him their own backlash. Your thoughts on that?
I guess kind of relating to the respecting the tech. I think sometimes people really think that they're much more involved in people's lives than they really are because of technology. Because we know what's going on in someone's life in the day-to-day, we somehow feel like, it's our place to then insert ourselves
They all in their business.
and their business, when really, it's not. I mean, the reality of the situation is, they're a married couple. They have, a biological child together, and he has, they've been together for some time. He's stepped in, and he's, whatever term of endearment they use, he's, I guess, the stepfather of this child. So
tweeting about his own kids and his own mother. There's a kid involved here. There is a mother situation.
It's really not anyone's place to, condemn him for saying that. I think he knows,
Future should have been tweeting like, thanks.
Which child?
He should have been tweeting like, thanks, bro.
Yeah, so it's just, but I think it's just more or less, like I said, people just have become so much more familiar because of the prevalence of technology, and so they feel, and then also it's a shield in a sense, you feel like it's somewhat anonymous, so you kind of, you feel more comfortable saying things that you probably wouldn't say if you were face to face with someone. And so
somebody said the man's child can never be yours. That's real personal. Like you gonna tweet the man's Russ, go away about your dumb career. The man's child will never. Hey,
that sounds really intense.
Somebody was hurt. Somebody was hurt, and if you are that tweeter, please find a counselor because that's what's needed. You can't be telling nobody that the man's child. I mean, he raising a kid. I mean, he wake up in the morning. If that kid is there in the morning, that child is his.
Yeah.
What's the phrase you tell me outside the Mother's Day? Maybe.
Oh, the one. Yeah, it's an old saying. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. If you're all in the same home and you have the same biological mother, there's no halves and steps, and
exactly.
It's just, they're just siblings, and that's just how it is. So, but everyone has their own view of how they think things should be, and what works best in their own home. But ultimately, that's for them to decide. How they want to raise their children, and really, fans especially have no place.
You got no
commenting on what they're doing in their home.
What you got up next one?
I guess on a on the education note,
Yeah.
this is graduation and
Graduation
prom
season.
season,
Yes.
and everyone's, kind of going through all their different commencement ceremonies. And we have a story about Raven Osborne. She's actually earned not only her high school diploma, but her bachelor's degree.
Wow.
And she'll actually be in her bachelor's degree commencement will be held prior to her high school one. So she technically is graduating from college before she graduates from high school. And, in the days now of all the different, depending on where, what your system calls it, but, the advanced placements in AP or, IB classes or, CLEP tests and dual enrollment or post-secondary options. There's all these different names that different school districts call it, but basically it's really common for children, well, I guess they're young adults, to take college courses and high school courses concurrently, and it's been pretty common for them to get associate's degrees, or at least even if they don't get the associate's degree, to have, at least, those 2 years their general education done before they actually leave high school. But I'm not completely sure, but I think this is probably one of the first times that it's happened where they've actually
Raven Osborne is a Chicago native. This is like the good news from Chicago. And I'm always excited to talk about how great Chicago is.
I wonder why.
As opposed to all of the violence and things that get brought up. This young lady has a quote that she says in the Chicago Tribune. She says, when I was younger, I was labeled with a learning disability, but my mother always told me I could do whatever I wanted to do in life. That, first of all, there's two things. She gave Mama some real big props on that. And Happy Mother's Day. Yes, Raven's mother. In Chicago, I'm sure that it is like other major cities that children of color are being labeled with special needs or disabilities more often than children who are white. And this is kind of a crutch that can happen to us, that can make us feel like we can't do nothing. But obviously, this young lady does not have a disability. Whoever did that initial assessment was absolutely biased.
Oh, well, I tend to kind of disagree slightly. I mean, we don't know for sure. I mean, she may have just been able to overcome in spite of that disability.
Okay. There's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
And I guess maybe that's the thing. If, I've heard used a lot of times where people will say instead of disabled, different or differently abled.
Yeah.
And maybe that's more
Differently
a better way to think about it.
I think that sounds like a t-shirt though. I'm differently able. I might like that on my own t-shirt. Yeah. Well, that's really special, man. If you want more information on that, you need to go to goodblacknews.org to read the whole story about Raven Osborne turning her bachelor's degree. And I believe it was, let me see, the Big Ten reported that she had earned her bachelor's. Big Ten that reported that she had earned her bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor in education from Purdue University. So this ain't the lie online or this ain't some online course thing that she took on accident. This was like a real deal.
And I think she actually plans to return to her school to teach.
That's dope. Or to the 21st century.
Yeah, to the school that she's
21st century charter high school. That's nice. There, just outside of Chicago. It's good to see. Support for Radio Phoenix programming comes in part by myclick.com. MyClick Urban offers an event listing services that for the public event promoters in select U.S. cities, including Phoenix, Atlanta, New York, and Los Angeles. More information, including listings of concerts, conventions, cultural and family events, available via the smartphone app and online at myclickurban.com. Man, we got so much more to discuss, but we will definitely be right back right after this break with our diaspora moment to come, and we'll have a little bit of conversation about the gospel of guns. Oh, that's a great one there. More from Soul Star Live right after this.
Okay, we got 2 minutes. I didn't get through all of the questions, but I got through some of them, and then I found 5 Afro-Brazilian artists.
Oh, nice.
I mean, honestly, we
There's
could
a
probably do a whole show just on
There's
Yeah.
a ton.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
man.
I need to go to Brazil before
Yes.
I die.
Yes.
Because even like when we were doing capoeira, our let me take these off. Our I forgot what his
Maestro.
yeah,
That's true.
which is like the instructor.
Mhm.
He went to Brazil, like he had gone a couple times while we were, and then he went like right after we were. I think it was just before we moved.
Yeah.
He had gone
You
again.
can go back
and
and
he
forth and
yeah,
just tell us all
really
sorts of crazy stuff. Like they're down there
great
fighting still.
stories to.
Oh,
Oh, they're down there like practicing, and it's a real movement for like all these black martial artists. They're down there getting it in. It's like a real movement. It's like I was like, yo, that's what's up. There's a cat that's like 60 something, 64, can do the bicycle kick, the flip kick. 64 years old. I was like, oh, I didn't even want to like mess around. I was like, 64, you're doing that?
wow.
So yeah. It's
Well, I mean, it also helps that they don't eat all these
they don't eat all the stuff we
stuff
eat.
that we eat.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And they got better weather.
Yeah.
They have so much better weather.
They do.
Yeah. And they're dual citizenship, so we can move there and be all right.
That's right.
They're dual citizenship, so
Well, I don't know. Things could be changing.
it could change. You're right. You're right. We got to get out quickly.
We have
Yeah.
to make sure that you double check.
Double check. So.
All right, stand by.
All right, welcome black. That's Kanye West. Hey, mama. So, let me see. Should we continue with the gospel of guns before we go into Brazil?
I'm interested. Oh, hi everybody.
Hey, this is Kaja Brown coming in to the show now. He usually comes in and helps us out with the EP, helps us out with the diaspora moment. But I'm interested to figure out, what our thoughts are on this situation with the gospel and the guns. And so let me give our listeners a little briefing about the situation here. So there is a special little article here on NBC Black or NBCNews.com. The article is titled "The Age of Trump is Producing More Black Gun Owners." It's done by Tremaine Lee. It delivers a hard but truthful wake-up call to Black America. It's a video that goes along with it, about 5 minutes about a church that is preparing to arm its community. So, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I actually watched the video, and it was quite interesting, because you don't usually, especially, black churches.
Black
people
churches.
tend to think of them as, non-violent, peaceable, pray your way through places.
Yeah.
But in this particular church, and I believe it was in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio.
Mhm.
He, the pastor's name is escaping me right now, but he basically just said, no, there's, people don't want to talk about the whole personality of God, and there was some war and wrath and revenge in there, and
He said God is not just loving, God is vengeful too.
and he feels that, that's the way they, need to handle themselves as well. And, but what I thought was really interesting is it's not you don't just go out and get a bunch of guns and start shooting people, but they actually are partnered with people to actually provide, education. So, like, it's actually, like, gun classes, and they go to gun range, the gun range, and or shooting range, whatever you call
Well, this
it.
isn't like
learn
the
how
bank
to
in that
use.
Michael Moore movie that just was giving out guns when you signed up for an account.
No, this is not it.
No.
This was some organized.
Yeah, so it's very interesting that there's really the whole education piece and like being, handling the weapon, appropriately and responsibly.
So the article did show the image, the video showed a couple of images of women. It featured a story about another mother, this is great, about her daughter being at Cincinnati State, and they were right after Trump was elected. there was a group that was handing out these flyers to join White Nationalist Party. And so she was interested in joining this movement that started by Ken Jones, the director of the National African American Gun Association and the co-owner of Urban Sports Unlimited in Cleveland. So she ended up joining the class because she just felt like, this is obviously a situation where she's biracial. So she's black and white. Her child is more darker, is more mixed because she married a black man. And she said they never discussed race in the house. Never came up. And that scared them. Well, that's what she said.
She said it was racism.
Racism.
We'll just be, there wasn't,
Yeah,
you know,
it wasn't.
there.
So of her parents, which one was white?
Oh, I don't think
You know,
they
they didn't show, there was no
Okay.
family photo.
But you could tell she had a little mixture in there. You could tell, but then her daughter was living like, straight up, okay, you might get picked out of the crowd for being Negro. So, but I thought it was very interesting that this was the pushback. You know, even from the way the pastor was talking, like it was like, come on here if you want to. Like you don't think you're getting some prayer and nice stuff, but we praying in the pews. I believe he said, and we packing pistols. Let me make sure I get it right. Packing pistols while praying in the pews was the quote. I mean, you know, a pastor's gonna run the alliterations on me. That was the exact quote from the pastor, and I'm like, it kind of shook me up in a way that I'm thinking like, well, I don't know if I'm preparing myself like that, but I definitely feel like this was something. This was hey brother, might want to think about it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the whole?
I don't know about the gun part, but if you want to get one, just feel free.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't. You know, I'm
those
not
folks
even,
are crazy.
Yeah, they are. It's a complicated situation, but you know, I think it's really powerful that this is the reaction of the church as opposed to, nothing or God or like, we just gonna ask God to come down and protect us, put a shield around the church.
Well, I don't think that's been working for us
Bleed
the
the
last
blood.
50 or 60
We'll bleed
years.
the blood over the church doors and stuff because we ain't Jewish or whatnot. But either way, we
Well,
have a
and they were smart enough to say, you know what, next time around we're gonna have a nation state.
Exactly. See, that's hey,
So
that's it.
I am not hating on Jewish folks
Way to go, Jews.
because
You love
they
it.
figured out,
Figure out some things.
we're not gonna do that twice.
Okay.
You know, and I don't blame them.
I got you.
So if we can take, some
Some-
pointers from that
Yes.
experience that they had,
We
yeah.
need to take a slice of the actual physical pie and say this is ours over here. And I would move over there just because I've been an advocate for this whole unification in America. I would move back like, yes, I want to go teach in that first all black nation state school. That's where I'm hoping to go. We shall see. It may be coming sooner than we anticipate because of this guy. This guy is Trump.
Yeah.
It could cause us to,
We might be moving to Brazil.
might be moving to Brazil. This for a moment is featuring the country of Brazil and its
Actually,
Afro connection.
why don't we, since we're up against the break, why don't we go ahead and take the break and then we'll come back and do
Come back
diaspora,
and do the diaspora moment.
spotlight moment, whatever we're calling it.
I love it though. It's all good.
Spotlight.
All right. We'll do the diaspora spotlight.
Moment of spotlight.
The moment,
Moment in the spotlight.
diaspora moment in the spotlight here on Soul Style. We'll be right after this. Stay tuned. I'm trying to make a brother cry. Make a brother cry.
Yeah, I read something, maybe it was about that church. I don't think it was about them. But
Okay.
there was like a larger presence of black people in the NRA.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Wow. That's
And I was
crazy.
like,
It makes sense. But I don't know.
oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say though. I mean, a lot of times, and I think someone in the video said this even. Maybe they did. I don't know. But there are a lot of other families, where it's just, hunting or whatever. It's just part of, their culture. And they have it
Yeah. They have it in the house.
from so high.
Yeah,
They
they're
know what's
used to it right
going
away,
on.
yeah.
Whereas, and I really liked, like I said, that they were, going through like the facts part of it and making sure people knew, the the laws and how to properly use the weapon.
Right.
You don't just have a bunch of people just going out here, watching hood movies and, turning the gun to the side, like, so.
Alright, let's see who's on Facebook Live and anybody. Oh, I forgot to share it. Let me share it.
How long is this break?
2 minutes.
Oh man! So at this point, we're gonna go over the last half of it after we do this one more.
Mhm.
We're gonna try to go through these top 10 things that your mother never told you. This is I think this post this young lady, this sister wrote this blog. It's an old blog. It's from 2014, but it still stands true for mothers. So number one, you made her cry a lot, and we can summarize the writings and then we talk about. I told Willis you're gonna have to explain some of these.
Hi, this is Pete Weber. Listen to my program, 12th Street Joke, on Radio Phoenix. It's public radio's best hour of 5 jazz, blues, and
I
rock.
keep forgetting this my password into Facebook, so let me
12th Street Joke, Sunday at 9 p.m.
I tell myself I love homemade mother's cake.
No, they got up this morning, man. They were sewing. What they sew you a pillow, a small pillow,
Yeah, small pillow and their,
a couple hats,
shortcut embroidery, newspaper hats,
They got
puppets.
they got up creating today. Serious.
Is there another plaque or just that one?
Just that one behind us.
That's on
Okay. This is, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this right. Alade or Alade Costa.
ALIDE.
So this is one of the Afro-Brazilian artists. I don't know what's going on with
In
this.
Spanish, is that E pronounced at the end?
Well, they speak Portuguese, I think,
Yeah,
so, but
Portuguese.
it shouldn't be that far off because I think they share the same.
But you know, I went to school with somebody
Yeah,
with a
hey.
native, like that was native Spanish.
Mhm.
When they went to learn, thought Portuguese would be easy because of that, but they said it wasn't.
Oh, really?
Like there are some things, but not everything.
Oh. Interesting. All right.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to our Dias Moment, Diaspora Spotlight.
You're going to get it together
Dias
eventually.
Moments, Spotlight of Deity.
You're going to call it the right thing at some point.
Diaspora Moments. We'll get both of the pronunciations.
Spotlight.
The diaspora spotlight. Spotlight. Afro people all around the world. Kaja, you got something for us from Brazil. In Brazil. I like that.
Yeah. Brazil. Let me get my note. Turn myself.
Well, that was a Brazilian piece right there too. That was also I believe it's a Pratinia, Our Lady Costa. But he could be really butchering this. So from
Yeah.
Brazil, and I messed it up really bad. Feel free to call the station. Let somebody know.
The name of that artist, I think, is Alade Costa, and the song was called Pratania.
Something like that.
So we'll tell you a little bit more about that. So this week we're doing Brazil. It's called officially the Federative Republic of Brazil, or basically the Republic. That's the English translation. But we more commonly know it as Brazil. Like a lot of places in the Americas, it had tribal, Native American, Aboriginal peoples on it until the 1500s when it was colonized by Portugal,
Oh,
and that part of South America was
Yeah.
colonized by Portugal.
yeah.
And around 1550, that's when our ancestors started to show up in Brazil, modern day Brazil. And they were enslaved from many of the modern day West African countries, including Ghana, Benin, Nigeria, Angola, Congo, and Mozambique.
Yeah.
And they were brought there to work on sugar plantations and in the mining industry, because they have a lot of natural mineral resources.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting because they didn't abolish slavery until 1888.
Yeah,
So
look,
they were like the last one.
A little afterwards, yeah.
They were even behind us, I think.
Yeah. He was 86, I believe.
Or 65, 64,
68.
something like
Yeah,
that.
it was 68 or 64. Yeah, it was in Lincoln's time.
Well, he got shot for it.
yeah. Well, just fire.
Yeah. Approximately 37% of our African ancestors during that period who were enslaved actually went to Brazil.
Oh, wow.
So
37%.
37%, which
It's a pretty big
was approximately 4 million people.
That's a lot of family.
Yes, it is. So we might have cousins in Brazil and not know it.
We got some cousins.
Today, Brazil has approximately 90 million black people who live there, and based on what I've seen, that's the largest black population in the Western Hemisphere,
Okay.
and it's also the largest population of black people in any country outside of the African continent.
Wow.
And just to give you some context, the United States only has about 39 million black people.
Yeah. That's.
You could kind of stretch it. They're starting to
Yeah,
stretch
yeah.
it now when you include biracial people, like say President Obama would
Yeah.
not have been considered full black.
Yeah.
So now they're doing stuff like that.
Now we're going to have to include everybody because we need to get everybody involved.
Right. It gained independence from Portugal, which I said before. It operates a federal presidential republic. So similar to us, current president, in quotes, because they had a female president last year, and all of a sudden they decided they didn't want her anymore, and they impeached her, and she was like, "This is some nonsense." But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, that's
But the current president is, and I think I'm saying this right, Michelle. Is it Michelle?
Michelle.
Tamer. Michelle Tamer, which is a guy.
Yeah.
So, but you pronounce it Michelle.
Michelle. Yeah, you probably cool. That's a cool name. So.
Sort of like Chris.
Yeah, he's a sex name.
Has 26 states, one federal district. The federal district, similar to Washington, D.C., it's called Brasilia. And it's about the size of Denver.
Oh,
So when you include the metro area population, it's about the size of Denver. Really pretty city. A little further inland. The largest city is, and I always mispronounce this, Sao Paulo?
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Yeah, that's a funny thing.
And it's a beautiful city as well on the coast, and it is actually bigger than New York and the New York Metro.
Oh,
Okay.
snap.
That's a lot of people.
Ooh. Yes.
It's almost as big. Actually, I think it's bigger than Mexico City too.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
That's a big old city.
yeah. So the city itself has about 12 million, and then the metro has a little over 21.
Oh. That's
So that's
a lot.
like bigger than some states.
That's a lot of millions.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
That's a lot of people.
Natural resources include topaz, iron ore, tin, gold, bauxite, nickel, limestone, clay, sand, gems, and timber.
And don't forget Olympic gold medals. A lot of those medals. They were just handing them out to them.
I agree.
It's a wonderful place. They also have a long history of rebellion against the Portuguese.
Yes.
So they fought with the Portuguese, usually Capoeira,
Mhm.
and the Angolans are the ones who taught it. And they were, I believe it was the story of this cat named Zorro. And there's a movie out about him. You gotta check it out. Zorro. And he was able to fight off some of the Portuguese, and a lot of them were able to escape from the Portuguese, like their slave layers and stuff, and start a whole other colony
Right.
called the Quilombos, like in the forest areas, like in the wooded areas, because the Portuguese people were like, we're not going to go there, but they like just took over there. I think the Quilombos are still like
They probably
active
are.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. Way to go, Brazil.
So we got a couple minutes left. We'll play a little bit of Brazilian music for you. There are some significant Afro-Brazilians, including this gentleman, Carlos Gachaca. So I'm going to play a little bit of his music for you. It's kind of funny because they either do jazz or something else.
Yeah.
It's like all their stuff sounds similar.
Everything is all the same, and they got them beats in there. They got them beats, and they try to steal in Mexico. They got all them polyrhythms. Brazilian people don't play with that music.
Do you have? Is this one mine? Put it top two.
Brazil, yeah, I'm ready to go. Brazil. Go see some water. I just want to live on the coast, but I saw this documentary going on Dr. Henry Louis Gates, and it's part of the documentary talking about how there's 90 million black people down there, and there's going to be a lot of black people down there after slavery, after they were like in the 1800s. So they paid Europeans, poor Europeans families to come here, just like they did here. They gave like welfare for them to come here so they can overpopulate because there's so many
Wow.
Africans left there.
Interesting.
They paid them to come down. They had to dilute the African. They had to dilute it. They had to join, mix in. They said, "Go and marry them and meet them, and let's do this. We got to kind of get this back." And so, even though they lost their control, they still, by population and by like people coming over, being more familiar with democracy and reading and things like that, they were still able to maintain control and power. That's why you see there's so many lighter-skinned Brazilians all the time. There's a whole bunch of dark brothers out there, brothers and sisters out there for real. Yeah, they paid them to come over, man. When I think about some of that stuff, I be like, man, they never wanted us to do anything, man. They never want us to do anything. He paying for it. I'm gonna pay poor people because I don't want these Negroes over here to take over this land. We did such a good job of acquiring it, and now they're free. They can kick our butts. We need to get everybody over here.
So that was Carlos Pacheca. And he was born in Rio de Janeiro in 1902. He passed away in 1999. And he was a composer and founder of Grace Mangueira. And again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. I'm probably messing anything up. But he was considered one of the greatest Afro-Brazilian singers, and he really never kind of got his recognition by the Brazilian music industry. So now a lot of people are discovering him and starting to kind of be like, oh, this stuff is kind of cool.
That's cool.
Let me find one more because we're running out of time. I want to find one ladies. Let's see.
Brazil has a really big hip hop movement as well. They have a lot of rappers now. Like they're really like internationally known rappers. So it's constantly putting a lot of them young men out there. The lyrics are very conscious. It's funny how like all the international rappers remain conscious. Like they're all like politically motivated lyrics and talking about social structure. But over here we got to talk about music.
So here's one more. Her name is Clementina de Jesus, and she is a bad sister. That's her.
Okay.
She didn't get discovered until she was 64,
Oh man.
and she was like poor, working as a maid, and then somebody heard her singing, I guess, and I was like, girl.
Are you serious? Oh wow.
And then she started getting booked as a singer. And
It's 64. Oh,
No, it's never over. It's never over.
still
Man.
breathing.
Never over. What?
Oh.
Go away.
that's all right. 10 years will be gone.
I know, yeah. 10 years to be out of my face. Man. We're trying
Sisters
to
will be right
ensure
behind
that. Yeah, we're trying to ensure. Yeah, 10 years, the youngest one will be gone.
Man, when
So
I'm
we
done
ready.
with
We're gonna do
this.
this
We're
one.
gonna do the membership. Yeah. And that was again Clementina de Jesus. That was a song called Marie. So I think I got that one right.
Maria
I
Sol.
think I got that one right.
Maria Sol.
And if you give me a second, I might find out what that meant. So while I do that, I'm going to throw it to you.
I got you, man. One way you can support Radio Phoenix is by becoming one of our sustaining members for only $35 per year. Members receive discounted savings and other benefits provided by our membership program partners. And don't forget, the membership fee is tax deductible. For more information or to sign up, call 480-829-5746 or go online at radiophoenix.org. Click on the support tab at the top and then become a member with a drop down menu. Thank you so much for your generous support of community radio. The community is doing it.
Yeah, so when you translate it into English, it doesn't make sense. It says sailor only.
There you go.
So maybe it was like a Navy song or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Might have to do some research
Okay,
on
so
that.
Yeah, we're going to have to find somebody that speaks Brazilian Portuguese
Yes.
to translate that.
I hope it's the same. My thought is that it has to be the same.
No.
If I went to Brazil and if I went to
No.
Portugal, no.
It's like if you went to Spain and you went to Mexico.
Not the same.
That's
I went to
exactly
England,
the
it'd be like
Even if you went to Mexico and you went to some of the other more Central American countries, there's difference in dialect and
Yeah.
all that.
Well, just like in England, they say certain words, and we're like,
Yeah, that we don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
or like certain words in our culture have different meanings than
Yes.
theirs,
Yes.
and you're like, oh.
Like what is it? Is it like the trunk of your car is like a boot or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
It's just different. Yeah,
Fish.
different things like that.
Fish and chips. Fish
Yeah,
and fries.
chips. Oh my goodness, yeah. At my job, we have a problem with that every day. The chips and the fries thing.
Yeah.
It's
Just
a problem.
chips and fries. Chips are fries and fries are chips.
So
Chips
what are
fries.
potato chips in British English?
Probably
I
potato
would-
chips,
I
but
don't know.
chips are fries over there.
Okay.
And we call them fries here, the chips over there. That's yeah.
Oh,
And I'm guessing they
okay.
eat potato chips, but I ain't never been there, so they
Yeah,
have
that'd
to
be
call
something
those
to
potato
research
chips.
too. They are. I'm sure there's probably something completely different
That's
names.
why the English language is so messed up. It's so backwards. It's crazy. So it's Mother's Day here, and we have from the Huffington Post. Let me make sure I got this right because I don't want to mess up this situation. This Sister Natasha here on her blog from 2014. Just to let you know, talking about mothers never gets old. So these are the top 10 things your mother never told you from the Huffington Post here. Number one is made her cry a lot.
I didn't make my mama cry. She made me cry a lot.
You know,
Maybe she couldn't let you see her cry, but
ooh, that's
children often cause tears.
caused lots of tears here. There was
They're
tears.
mainly tears of joy,
Well,
but there
the
are
majority,
tears.
you gonna still say the majority is tears of joy.
That's what we tell ourselves to do.
Well, it's a psycho. It's good though. It's a good psycho. Psycho. Whatever. Number two. She wanted that last piece of
No, she didn't, because she already set hers aside.
I hope she
At least, well,
I hope she did.
See, your mom, she sounds like a smart mom.
Yeah,
See, except for in my house, for some reason, whatever you put aside, someone finds it.
that is.
And you go back and you find empty containers in its place.
Well, I don't know who does stuff like that.
I have no idea.
Yes, but this is about mothers though. So if you can't find it, then you got to learn to set it aside better in a better place. If you're a mother out there.
A locked mini fridge.
I'm gonna let you take number 3 because I don't really want to say it.
Number 3, it hurt. And she says here, when you
This-
pulled her hair,
This
it
is
hurt.
not a black child.
When you grabbed her with those sharp fingernails. Well, but a lot of this is speaking more to like that infant stage, and
Okay.
it does happen, you know, when you're, you know.
I don't remember biting any of them.
Well, you wouldn't remember your little nursing baby.
Trust me, they would have let me know.
They were like,
Nursing is just hurt in itself though.
yeah,
It's just one of
yeah.
those things
I know.
never understood.
I had one that I almost gave up on.
Teeth were gonna come eventually. You know.
Well, this is
Teeth
even
are gonna show up in that
before
situation.
teeth sometimes.
Oh, it hurts before the teeth.
Well, it depends. If you have, you know, because every child is different, and they all, you know, they latch in different ways, and you know, every woman is different. So sometimes it can be harder than others. And you know, yeah, one of our children did not want to open wide enough to to accommodate
Yeah.
proper nursing, and it, you know, it was painful.
Yeah.
But you know, I actually had, I guess you would consider, you know, a mother. The pastor of the church we were going to
Yeah.
at the time, his mother was the one who basically just said, you know, you just buck up and do what you need to do.
Gotta feed that baby.
And I had to decide if that was a model or continue, and
Gotta
you know,
feed
I
that
just
baby.
made it happen.
Buck
So.
up. So it hurt. It hurt. Number 4, you want to read that one too? Because I couldn't believe it. But I was reading it.
You know, this, the number 4, she was always afraid. I think I understand, you know, where she's coming from, where she's, you know, she says, from the moment you were conceived, she did it all in her power to protect you. And so I don't know if I necessarily, you know, if I was writing this, if I would have used the word afraid, but it's more or less, you know, she was always, you know, mothers are concerned for their children's well-being, and that never changes. It doesn't matter, you know, how old you get or how self-sufficient you become or what technology you have that you can keep in touch with me. I'll always be concerned about you and your well-being, and
I'm gonna come and
wanna
say
make
about
sure
this
that
one
you're-
mother right now. I just don't want you to be too concerned about me. I'm gonna be all right. That's crazy to think about that these mothers probably have more. I know for me as a father, the disconnect is really. Did you do what I said or not? You know what I'm saying? Like if you stay in with my good graces and my words, you're a good kid. Otherwise, you could be an enemy. I don't know who you are, little kid. But because mommy carries a kid, I can already tell that there's a different kind of connection there with
Right.
and something like the well-being of somebody, like considering like, I'm thinking about you all the time. Sometimes I think about it, asking my thoughts too.
it's not that mothers don't have other thoughts. It's just it's a different level. I mean, that's a big responsibility to care for and take this person, you know, from seed
Yeah.
all the way to responsible adult. So I mean, there's a lot that
Borrows
goes
money
into
from
that.
you and all that good stuff. Number 5, she knows she's not perfect.
Yes, she is.
I knew there was going to be some contention with number 5 because every mother knows that they are perfect. Wasn't your mother perfect? She knew she was. At least
She
knew
never
she
told
was.
me she wasn't.
There you go. Every mom is perfectly mothered. You're absolutely perfect. No matter what, like even your mommy mistakes are good. Mommy mess ups like, oh,
You know, I'd like to think we all just we do the best we can do with what we have, and you know, as the child, you learn from it, and hopefully, you know, if you have children, you build on that. That's all you can really do.
that's all you can do. So number 6 is she watched you slept as you slept. She watched you as you slept. That's good. Those moments, I know what that's about. Peace.
No, it's more about, watching them when they sleep. Some of it is about, that time of peace, but a lot of it is just, again, it goes to that, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily say afraid, but just that concern, making sure they're okay, do they, if you have a kid that throws their covers off at night, go check them and, make sure they're right. But sometimes, it is about peace. It's about, you have that one that talks nonstop when they're sleeping. Maybe they're not talking. So.
Yes, well, I get to look at your face. I didn't know how beautiful you were. That noise was coming out your mouth. Number 7, she carried you a lot longer than 9 months. That right there hurt my heart already. First time I read it, I was like, what?
Well, the reality is you don't come out walking. It'd be nice if we were like horses.
Horses
we just
do.
got up
Horses.
in a few
You ever
minutes.
seen a horse give birth? That is like the most magnificent thing. I mean,
But,
it's second to humans, so obviously, but them things get out running, and they be like running, ready to roll. Horse birth is
so
great.
yeah. So that's goes without saying. No one's we're not ready to walk on our own when we're born. So of course it takes the mom to carry you.
Do you think you carried any of your children more than the other?
Oh, I know that.
You know which one it was that you kept in your arms?
Yeah, and it wasn't the one that walked the latest either. It's, And they have a way of coming back though. They have their time where they step away and then they have a time when they want to come back. So.
Pretty big. Number 8 was it broke her heart every time you cried.
I don't know if I agree with that. Because sometimes you need to cry.
You had to
You
cry.
need to know. I need to know that you feel something.
You
So
better learn
I don't know.
how to shut up on your own. That's what I believe that. Number 9, she put you first. I know this isn't a Father's Day list, so I already know. I wasn't.
I think mothers do tend to put their children first. They put their relationships first, and it can be challenging as a mom to make sure you have that balance. Where you actually take the time to take care of yourself, so you can be. It's like they tell you on the airplane, put your oxygen mask on first, so then you can you know that you can help other people.
I'll let you take number 10 there.
And number 10, she would do it all again. Well, I'm done.
You're done. We're done.
I'm done.
You're done.
I won't have any more children.
Yeah.
But I think more or less we should just say it doesn't end. You will always be her baby, and she will always mother you and be there. But just real quick, I just want to make sure that we make sure to just kind of acknowledge everyone that may be missing Mama right now,
Oh, yeah.
missing most special people in their
It
lives,
goes
to
out
make
to
sure
you.
that they find peace, as we go through this time, and then also for those women out there that may be missing motherhood, maybe your child has passed on, or maybe your child didn't come.
Yeah,
Just make sure that our hearts are with you today as well. So
Thank you. Soul Star Live is a production of Desert Soul Media Incorporated. Our executive producer is Kaja Brown. Our music director is Tashima Oates. Follow us on Facebook at Soul Star Live Radio, on Twitter at Soul Star 1, and Soul Star Live Radio on YouTube. For more information, you can visit desertsoulmedia.com. Or .org.
Oh, yeah.
.org.
You're right.
Yes.
you'll find us.
Thank you for listening. Have a good week. Well, that was really nice, Aquila.
Well, hopefully that was okay after that. We don't always acknowledge those people.
No, that was okay. I think I forgot too. I forgot to acknowledge people without their mothers and stuff. Peace and blessings, everybody. I hope you had a good one. We enjoyed you watching and all that good stuff.
Yes, child. Is it over?
Is it over?
Just about.
Is it over, Father? Please, let me have more.
We're off the air. That's what you mean. Yeah. Do you all listen? Or are we just running around?
I read the top 10 before you guys read it, so I kind of knew which ones. I just don't really understand number 10.
Oh, what? She do it all again?
Yeah, I really don't understand why.
Why? Because every child is different. And sometimes you just, you know.
Are all pregnancy tests the same?
No.
Does she have to be that descriptive?
Does she have to be that descriptive?
Yeah.
As an author, it's helpful to be descriptive because you have to create the visual for people that are reading. You know that. You don't want to read a book that has no detail. So it's the same way, you know.
Every hiring manager knows that a company is only as good as the
Stop.
people it's made
That's
for.
not, no,
So
don't
where
do
do you
it
find
that
the
way.
best
It's
people?
not what it's supposed
That
to
may
do.
surprise you.
Meet the grads of life, young adults of unique determination and experience, an ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification necessary for experience.
This is Talent Worth knowing about.
Go to gradsoflife.com.
Bye.